meantime, we have inquiries coming from Facebook. What's happening there?
We have an individual that wants to know about chlorella, spirulina and blue-green algae. What's the differences between them and what would be the best thing to take?
Oh, there's no such thing as best, just do it. Find out for yourself. But if you want some science, one of my great teachers, his name was Shoshame, S-H-O-S-H-A-M-E, Transformational Research. He put together an exceptional visual composition that covered some of the early pioneer work by Dr. Pfeiffer, one of the biodynamic agriculturists that did original research, and it became much more structured and modernized in the 1990s by Garcius, whereby it did a comparison in a copper sulfate solution of the patterning of the energetics of the three most popular blue-green, you might say, algae edible. And what he came up was, and you can find this on the internet, is the patterns of chlorella were very vegan, primitive, simplistic, and represented not a major influence on your neurological system. The patterns of spirulina showed a more evolved levels of structure and consciousness and impact. The chlorella is primarily a green algae. The spirulina has not only the green component, but tiny bit of blue, a tiny bit of purple. The wild-crafted, and it is the Aphanizomenon flossaqua, the climate blue-green algae, is the only one that is wild-crafted. The other ones are grown, domesticated. In this wild-crafted, you see a patterning where if you took, for instance, a glass container 4 inches in diameter and maybe 12 inches in height and filled it with water, and in one you added chlorella, in the other one you added spirulina, and in the third one you added Aphanizomenon flossaqua, the climate blue-green algae, and even the fourth one you had wheatgrass juice. You'd find that the color of chlorella would be similar to the wheatgrass juice. Spirulina is darker, but it's still all green. Now we come to the apha, the blue-green algae of Klamath Falls. The bottom portion, with a light shining from the top, the bottom portion of this container would be green, about 20%, about 70% of it would be blue. Now the blue is the color of the throat chakra. It deals with concentration, focus, mental acuity. And another 10% or so will be purple, magenta, that reflects consciousness. And the patterning is extremely elaborate, very similar to the patterning that you see of the neurological brain system. So we have the polypeptides and monopeptides, which are precursors to the neuropeptides that organize the neurological pathways for clear communication not only for the gut brain, for also the brain in your crown. We have seen, based on research, Nicaragua study over 2,000 children which had the lowest academic performance in one school semester, consuming only a quarter of a teaspoon of this alpha, blue-green algae. They went from the lowest academic performance to the highest, going up by 2.5 grades. Dramatic. We've seen left and right brain hemisphere integration of the brain so that the creative and the logical stuff functions synergistically, producing the most practical academic and worldly solutions of wisdom. Also, we had excellent results in a matter of 2 months, recovery from ADD, ADHD, which is altogether too common among our school's children. I've seen the most exceptional results related to addiction and breaking habits. I was bulimic for many years, practically 10 years. Within a period of a week of consumption of blue-green algae, I had a comfortable relationship with food. And within another couple of weeks, I never went back to bulimia. That was 25 years ago. It had its emotional component, the bulimia. Remember, comfort food. I was very uncomfortable, ulcerated individual. It helped to alter my state of consciousness, though I was totally remade, you might say, in the world of female energy, which helped me to become reborn once again as a child of creation. So the power in the blue-green algae is also not only good for physical performance, but as an example, Dan O'Brien wished to compete in the Olympics, yet he found that he couldn't work out more than an hour a day, and that training for the Olympics, especially for decathlon, requires much more time than an hour dedicated effort. After consuming enzymes, blue-green algae, and probiotics, he was increasing his practice time to 6 to 8 hours. He went to the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta and competed at men 10 years younger than him and came home with gold-breaking world records. It helps to speed the recovery when taken before and after, you might say, weekend warrior type of events, so that you recover much more quickly from athletic activity. The spirulina is a wonderful product, especially when it comes from Hawaii, where it is not grown with any kind of fertilizer that might include the waste products of animal husbandry, and it is enzymatically active, just as the alpha is, so that you have a high level of digestibility. It is very inexpensive comparison to alpha, and it presents a good product for bodybuilder substitute. I myself utilize both products, but the one that I really enjoy, that I have consumed over 25 years on a daily basis, is the alpha, especially sublingual. You can just imagine one day in my life of many adventures with the blue-green algae, I was totally exhausted from several nights of no sleep. Quite a common occurrence among these Piscean dreamers. And I had some difficulties with my beloved in communication skills. I ended up chewing on 8 capsules of the blue-green algae. My mind totally was restructured, my body was energized. I sat at my laptop composing this most beautiful poetry and prose, and the evening was resolved between me and my beloved. So it's helpful in many different ways. It also has the right analog according to Dr. Bob, let's just call him Dr. Bob, from University of Connecticut. A study was conducted and found that it had the right analog of vitamin B12. It's also about 5 times higher in chlorophyll than wheatgrass. So it's a good protective food. Experiment with all of them. They all have great research. And choose the one that gives you the most vital force.